financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by Thav Gross. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is, what's the smartest way to eliminate tax debt? And on that note, we'll talk to the smartest people I know. Well, what do you have to say to yourself, Ken? Well, anyway. You like that one?
I did.
Brian Small, good morning.
Good morning, Ken.
Jeffrey Linden, I got you laughing there too.
Good morning.
Kelsey, you're looking at me like I'm crazy, and yes, I am.
You're always crazy, Ken.
Okay, so before we get into the taxes, I want to put things in the framework. 3-point retirement plan, because I still believe that if you're a regular watching the show, this is the thing and the item and the point that pervades everything that we advocate for. You want to own, when you get to retirement, you want to own your home free and clear, zero debt, some cash in the bank. Simple 3 points that if you buy into them, by the time you're 55, you can be that late, you can achieve the goal and you're guaranteed a decent retirement. This doesn't get you the 100, well, it probably will get you the 100 offers 3 times a week to go to Fleming's or someone else for a steak dinner because a financial advisor wants to invest your money for you. Because if you have zero debt, you have no mortgage on your house, you're going to have some cash in the bank and they are going to want to manage your money. But this isn't about being mega $10 million estate. This is about having a nice retirement. And you can accomplish it if you buy into that. The 3 points are simple. Getting there takes work. It doesn't happen automatically because there's all these pressures out there to just ramp up debt. Tax debt, credit card debt. There's lack of priority in paying off the mortgage. Car payments, we talked about a couple of shows ago, are like $900 a month for a modest car payment. There's a lot of insanity out there. So you need to kind of focus on a goal that you're zeroed in on, and if you do that, you can achieve it. Now, with that said, what are the tax problems people face?
The
They haven't
IRS
paid. Well, in the state.
and the state.
But
Taxes. That's the
I
problem.
mean, the problem is taxes. The problem is that people haven't paid their taxes. Bigger problem is the most common problem is people haven't filed their returns, and that's the easiest one to fix because what do? You file them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Novel.
I kind of want to identify the problem and the solution. And this is the funniest one. How often, we don't know the statistic, I'm wondering, how many unfiled returns are there? We have clients come in all the time that haven't filed in 2 to 10 years.
I have people that walk in and see me, they haven't filed in 15 years, which is crazy. How did you get away with not filing and having the IRS, especially when you're working, you have a W-2, or you get 1099s. If
That's
you're
the
working under
fallacy.
the table for cash, maybe you disappeared off the
Maybe you're
grid.
dead under the radar.
Right.
But if you're working
But
under
that's
the
the
table for
fallacy.
cash, you're not going to get a Social Security check.
That's the reason the fallacy, like they go into what I've called like the ostrich defense method of putting your
Yes.
head in the sand, because if you can't see them, they can't find you. That's the theory. It doesn't work.
Here's my question. If you're an ostrich
Yeah,
and you're able to get your head to go into that sand,
yeah,
at night when your head is in that sand sleeping,
yeah.
How do you breathe?
I'm not even worried about breathing. I'm worried about what are you dreaming about? Are you able to be such a good ostrich that you don't underlying when you're closing your eyes and going to bed worry about that? I believe you worry about that.
Well, I mean,
And that anxiety is awful.
yes. because you're not an ostrich. Because an ostrich's brain is like this big. But the thing...
Are you suggesting that if an ostrich does not file his tax returns, he can do so without any anxiety?
I am.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
I am. But there's...
Find me an ostrich that actually has to file
But
a
here's the
tax return
problem
first.
with the ostrich
They can't.
approach.
They don't have arms.
Your head's in the sand, and I can't see your head. But I can see your butt. And I know exactly where you are.
And I know your social security
And I know your
number.
social security number. Because what people forget is if they get a 1099 or they get a W-2, that goes to the IRS. So the IRS knows the money that you made, whether you file or not.
And here's the fallacy. And tell me if I'm wrong. The person who hasn't filed the returns is saying, I can't deal with the problem because if I file all those returns,
They're gonna
I'm
know.
they're going to come after me.
Right.
I hear all these commercials about what they can do to me. They're going to come after me for all of this money, and I don't have the money.
Wait, I'm gonna add a problem into these tax returns. You know what I'm seeing a lot of? Fraudulent returns,
Yes.
which are really interesting. The latest scam in Detroit is you go to a tax preparer. Somebody says, I know somebody that'll get you a huge refund, and they call this person up. The person says, oh, you don't even need to come in and see me. You just give me the information over the phone. I'll email you the form that you sign, and we'll file your taxes, and you'll get a giant refund. And they do, and they get a giant refund. Most people...
Is the key there that they have to have enough withholding in order for the money to be refunded?
No. The key is what you see is that suddenly the person who's working as a nurse or a mechanic who gets a W-2 suddenly has their own company and a Schedule C, and there's $90,000 deduction for supplies.
Right.
And they didn't see it on the tax return because the individual doesn't review their individual tax return. They just get that
They just
little
sign the
form.
form.
Right.
And then they get a $10,000 refund, and they're on the hook to the government for fraud. I'm telling you right now, it's a tremendous problem, and it is getting worse. So we can talk about how we fix that too, but when we come back from the break.
We got some time. Here's the question. When that situation comes and presents itself, do you tell the person to amend their return?
It depends, but I tell the person that if they don't amend their return,
It could be
they
bad.
can get audited and they are in trouble.
Let's take a break and talk about that a little bit more.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
You know, Dad always asked that we look after Mom when he passed away.
I know, but she insisted on moving down to the Villages, and now she has that new boyfriend, and I am worried. Maybe it's time to just call Simasko Law.
Take the stress out of your family's future. Reach out to Simasko Law and set a course through life's difficult times. Simasko Law, protecting what means most because that's what we do.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Thav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Fav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
And so we checked at the break. IRS estimates 10 million people a year don't file their tax returns. That's a big number considering we only have 300 million people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to the fraudulent return situation. If you are a party to that situation and you take action by amending the return, you eliminate any potential criminal claim against you for filing a fraudulent tax return, and you will avoid the 50% fraud penalty that attaches.
Right.
So you should amend the return in that circumstance.
Isn't it up to even 75%?
I think
the
it
fraud
might be.
It might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Plus the 25% non-payment penalty.
and not only that, you
Right.
should also do a referral to the government of the tax
Of the
preparer
tax
that
preparer.
put you into that.
So, and
so
the
that
thing
he's
is
not doing, he or she's not doing it to other people.
And if you, just so you know, if you got a tremendous tax refund and you've never had one before, and you look on your return and it says self-prepared, because that's these people are doing, you don't have anybody to go after. Because
Well, then how are you signing a form for them if they're doing it?
just sending you an
They're
authorization
sending it
for
to you.
e-filing.
And then you
That's
file
it.
it. We had a client
So they're
where
even-
this happened
yeah.
to.
Yeah,
An
it's,
invented company.
if it costs you $2,500 suddenly to file your taxes, when normally it should be like $300, you're getting robbed.
Right.
It's
If it
all a
doesn't-
scam.
If it doesn't pass the smell test, it smells.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, so don't be deluded into doing those things, because then you're going to really be the ostrich that when you put your head in the sand at night that's going to have the anxiety, because you know
worse
you've
problem.
committed, you basically know that you've done something illegal. You're just trying to delude yourself into thinking that you didn't,
Well-
because it wasn't your idea.
And the thing for people to remember is when you file your returns, even if you didn't do this on purpose and somebody took advantage of you, you're signing that it's prepared and you've read it and under penalty of perjury under federal law.
Yeah.
So the first instance is the government's looking at you. Your defenses are to deflect and point to people who defrauded you, but you sign that return, you
So
have an obligation
You've
to
got
read and know.
responsibility. So going back to we kind of sidetracked a
Yeah.
little bit, but the whole unfiled return problem is we file the returns.
Right.
You get them filed. If you don't have the information, we pull transcripts, and they all have, the government already has all your W-2 information, any 1099s you receive. If you have your own if you're self-employed and you have a business, we estimate expenses. You can estimate if you don't have records. You know, everybody thinks about the image of the auditor and the returns being audited, and the auditor says, give me all of your receipts, and if there are no receipts, he strikes the deduction and strikes the deduction. And the auditors sometimes do that. They're not my favorite people. I mean, in the group, I've never really felt fondness towards an IRS auditor. But here's the point. They get to do what they do, but you don't have to agree to it.
I'm not so sure they like you either, but that's okay.
I don't think they like
when
anyone,
you go
including
through an audit,
themselves.
which is a rare circumstance now, but if you do get audited, they stick a piece of paper in front of you at the end and say, you need to sign this so that the matter gets resolved and you don't have to then hire an attorney and go through all these other problems. You don't want to sign that if it's not a fair deal. If
Right.
it's if they denied all your deductions, you protest it. You take it to appeals. We have remedies. There's better solutions. You can't tell somebody who's an independent truck driver that has driven 5 days a week, 50 weeks of the year, that he doesn't get any deduction for gasoline because he doesn't have any gasoline receipts. How did the truck go from point A to point B?
Right.
You can impute that number. The government recognizes that. The auditor may not, but that's just the auditor. So the point is, if you haven't filed the returns, you get them filed. Now, you've got a liability now. You filed these returns. Taxes are due.
And you can have a liability for many, many years, and it doesn't really matter whether it's 1 year or 10 years.
Now
they can all be controlled and
now you're
effectively
getting
dealt
bills.
with.
What's the statute of limitations on if I don't file my tax return and I owe money and I don't do it for 20 years?
That's easy.
How far back can they go?
If you don't file your return, forever.
The statute doesn't start
Statute
to
doesn't
run
start till you get
until you
assessed.
file the return.
Now, its question is, did they file the return for you?
Right.
A substitute for return does start the statute.
Okay.
But they don't always do that.
No,
Okay.
they don't.
So once you file the return, then
10
it's
years.
how many?
10.
10 to collect, and how many? It's 3 years,
3 years
for them
to
to
audit.
challenge and audit and increase your tax liability,
Okay.
claiming that you've improperly claimed deductions.
It's also 3 years for you to claim your refund or amend. So people leave a lot of money on the table by avoiding that. They don't know that, and then they figure something out too late. They're owed money back, but they don't get it because it's been more than 3
Yeah, and
years.
if you're beyond the statute, they don't give you the money. That's
Right.
for sure. All right, so you filed the returns, and now you've been assessed the taxes, and you're getting bills, and you're short on money. What do you do then? What's the situation that you employ when you have the liability, but you don't have the cash to pay?
So we'll look at any number of tools that we have, and this is what makes us unique because Brian, who runs our bankruptcy department, and we do taxes, tax collection, usually that's not combined. And most tax resolution people don't know bankruptcy, and a lot of bankruptcy lawyers don't deal with the tax stuff. But some taxes are dischargeable in bankruptcy if they're at the right space.
When are they
So,
dischargeable?
An income tax is dischargeable if it came due at least 3 years ago, has been filed for at least 2 years, and you haven't been assessed in the last 8 months.
So in my situation where I had 5 years of unfiled returns, if we just filed them, then we've got to
We start the clock ticking.
We start the clock.
So the first key is did the tax return come due at least 3 years ago? So if you didn't file your 22 tax returns, they came due April of 23. That 3-year period has now expired unless you were on extension. Now you file them tomorrow. For them to become dischargeable in bankruptcy, we have to wait at least 2 years, and we wait for the assessment.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come right back to that.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. I want to announce Thav Gross has opened a new office downriver in the Horizon Building on Eureka Road. So now we're in Flint, downriver, and also our home office in Bingham Farms. Remember, you can always come in for a free consultation. You can do it by Zoom conference, in the office, any way that works best for you. Just call 888-235-HELP or go to the website, thavgross.com, to sign up. Debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business law issues, elder law issues with Pat or Kelsey, disability issues with Jeff Kirschner. Again, sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or just call 888-235-HELP. Also, if you go to the website, you'll see there's free reports. Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by Jeff Linden and myself. Bankruptcy, Is It Right for Me by Brian Small. How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure. Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan. And The Retiree's Guide to Social Security by Pat Simasko. I want to thank our sponsors, Stavros, Simasko Law, Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Fav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Fav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
You know, Dad made us promise we would never put him in a nursing home.
I know, but he found that new caregiver on the internet, and I'm getting worried.
Don't worry, honey. I know just how to take care of you.
I'm sure you do.
Maybe it's time to call Simasko Law.
You know, I've heard of them. All my friends on Facebook use them.
Take the stress out of your family's future. Reach out to Simasko Law and set a course through life's difficult times. Simasko Law, protecting what means most because that's what we do.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Fav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem.
All right, so the key is on discharging the taxes in bankruptcy, getting the return filed. So this is another reason why it's such a mistake not to file your. If you don't file your return on time, first of all, you end up increasing the tax liability by 25%, 5% a month for 5 months, 25%, and anybody who doesn't file a return, it's a waste of money. But you're also not starting that 2-year clock, which discharging taxes in bankruptcy is a great outcome to get rid of them.
The other thing is that if the government does file the substitute for a return, that eliminates your ability to use bankruptcy.
Right, bankruptcy, a substitute for return is never
when do they
dischargeable.
file the substitute for return?
Anytime.
I was going to say, it can be you're 3 months behind and they filed it.
Yeah, or it could be 9 years and they file it.
It's basically
you
a
don't know.
computer that catches you.
Yeah.
And just think about that. With AI, they're going to catch you a lot faster. There may be nobody working at IRS under the current administration because of budget cuts, but AI is out there and they're going to get you.
So I've got a buddy who used to work for the IRS, and the IRS's unofficial motto is, "We will find you and we will get paid."
You can't blame them. I mean, we deal with two sides of the equation. If you pay your taxes, which most people do, is it your preference that your neighbor pays his taxes too? Or would you prefer that you pay your taxes, your neighbor doesn't, and as a result, you're paying an extra 10% in taxes in order to
everybody knows the answer to that. I mean,
it depends.
What's the answer? Nobody cares?
First of all, nobody cares. But beyond that, everybody wants, if you got to pay if I got to pay.
Yeah, you want fundamental fairness. All right, let me give you 3 scenarios. You owe taxes and your employee gets a wage levy for you on your wages. You owe taxes and you notice that your bank got a levy to take all the money out of your bank account. Or you owe taxes and you get notice that the IRS filed a lien against your home.
Yeah.
Does the F word come into play here? I mean, where do you stand in this situation?
No, you have solutions. The S word comes into play. Solutions. The solutions.
To use the F word first and then go to get the
but
solutions.
the solutions start with what are your immediate needs and how quickly can we act. So
employer gets levy.
So you got to stop the levy.
So
you want to stop the levy.
Jeff can stop the levy.
You file a taxpayer advocate 911 form. You get involved and you seek an offer.
How soon do you have to take that action? Immediately.
Right? Because the employer, with bank and employer levies, they typically have 21 days before the money goes.
And once the money's gone,
you're not going to get it back. You can sue the government to get it back, and if you want to pay the freight for a lawsuit and wait 2.5 to 3
so let
years.
me make it simple. If you're out there watching, if your bank gets a levy or your employer gets a levy, you instantly need to get help.
Yes.
You can call Jeff and he can help you, or call somebody. But if you wait a month to deal with it, then you go to somebody and the money's already gone, we're not going to be able to jump into the air and fly around and then grab it out of the cloud and bring it back to you. But if the bank hasn't released it, you can stop it.
Yep.
If the employer hasn't paid it, you can stop it.
I can stop it like this with the Chapter
With the
13 bankruptcy. Or if you qualify for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, just like that. We file the case, it's stopped.
Let me see if I understand that. If I call you, all you have to do is go like that,
Almost.
and it's stopped, or do I have to
You have
actually?
to come in and we'll get it done the same
So
day.
you have to file a case.
Yeah.
How long does it take to file a case?
As long as it takes you to come into the office, make sure we qualify you. If you qualify
On an emergency
on an
basis?
emergency basis, I can file it the same day.
Wow. You're good.
Important points.
It's the enter
So
button
let
on
me
the
just ask.
keyboard.
Let me ask you just a
Used to
different
be that
question.
we'd have to take the files downtown and stand in
They
line
came
for
and
hours.
repoed
Now
my car.
just press enter.
They came and repoed my car.
Is it a lease or purchase?
It's a lease.
You don't get it back.
It's a purchase.
You get it back.
Ooh.
So if it's a lease and I haven't made the car payment,
Lease is terminated upon repossession.
make sure I keep the garage closed?
Yeah.
Are they allowed to open the garage?
No,
Okay.
What if I'm
But
in
if the
tax
garage
debt?
is open,
they can take the car.
and
What
if
if
the
I'm-
car is just parked in the street?
They can take the car.
What if I'm in tax debt and I convince them to repossess Ken's car?
That would be
That would
great.
be awesome.
You'll
Isn't that
be
a good idea?
big,
If you do
big,
that,
big
call
trouble.
me and let me know how you got that to happen.
We'll do. We'll do.
Is it going to be my car or my wife's car?
I'm scared of your wife. It's going to be your car.
Okay. You're not afraid of me.
She's right.
No, you're fine.
She should be scared.
Well, Bonnie doesn't watch the show. So
Oh, body can be tough.
Sam watches the show. My dog. In fact, the dog does not recognize my voice when the show is on. It kind of annoys me.
Okay, we got 30 seconds left. Be
Okay.
less annoyed.
Devastating.
Lean on the home. Now, big problem. Significant. If there's
It can
equity
be.
in that home.
If there's equity in the home, if you don't need to move the home or borrow against the home, it's a manageable problem. The lien times out with the statute of limitations on the debt too.
You're far better to take action to get into a payment plan and an arrangement with the IRS to avoid a lien than trying to deal with it once the lien is filed if you got equity in the home.
And while we're running out of time, remember that arrangements include making you currently not collectible so you don't necessarily have to pay anybody anything.
And the solution is individual to the individual. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.